She had no pulse, no breath. Her body was frozen for hours, and yet, she came back.
In the brutal winter of 1980, beneath the black sky of northern Minnesota, something impossible happened. A young woman was found lying in the snow, her body frozen solid, her skin like porcelain ice, her eyes unblinking, pupils dilated. She had no pulse, no breath, no signs of life. But hours later, she came back. This is the chilling, true story of Jean Hilliard, a woman who defied death, medical science, and the unforgiving grasp of nature itself. A tale that baffles experts to this day and inspires those who believe in the resilience of the human spirit. The storm, December 20th, 1980. The temperature in Lyngby, Minnesota, plunged to minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit. It was the kind of night where cars wouldn't start, windows would freeze from the inside, and the mere act of breathing felt like inhaling knives. Jean Hilliard, a 19-year-old farm girl, had just left a friend's house in her father's old car. As she drove down the snow-slicked rural roads, the tires slipped, and the car veered off into a ditch. Stranded in the middle of nowhere with no cell phone, Jean had a decision to make: wait in a freezing car that wouldn't start, or try to walk 2 miles through the brutal cold to a nearby friend's house. She chose to walk, not knowing that choice would make her a legend. Alone in the cold, bundled in only a winter coat, gloves, and cowboy boots, Jeanne braved the night. Her eyelashes began to freeze. Her breath crystallized as she trudged through the deep snowdrifts. Every step was a battle. Her thoughts slowed. Her limbs became heavy. Her body screamed for rest. But she was determined. She knew Wally Nelson lived nearby. Maybe a mile, maybe 2. She walked for what seemed like forever. Then nothing. Just 15 feet from his front door, Jean collapsed. Her body surrendered to the cold. She fell face down in the snow and didn't move again until morning. Discovery at dawn. As the sun rose, Wally Nelson stepped outside. At first, he thought someone had dropped a mannequin in the snow. But when he looked closer, his heart dropped. It was Jean. Her body was stiff. Her skin was icy and blue. Her eyes were open, unblinking. There were no signs of life. He assumed she was dead, frozen overnight in the Arctic cold. Still, he hoisted her rigid body into his pickup truck and raced to the local hospital in Foston. What happened next defied logic. The hospital's dilemma. When doctors examined Jean, they were stunned. Her body temperature was too low to register. Thermometers at the time couldn't measure anything below 88 degrees Fahrenheit. Jean was far colder. Her skin was frozen. Her eyes unresponsive. Her joints immovable. Medical staff were certain they were dealing with a corpse. But one nurse, trusting a hunch or perhaps driven by sheer hope, noticed something faint, a flicker. A breath? A pulse? It was hard to say, but it was enough. They wrapped her in heating pads, brought in blowers to circulate warm air, and waited. Hours passed. Then, miraculously, Jean moaned. She was alive. Life restored, her heartbeat slowly returned. Her limbs began to move. She regained consciousness with full mental clarity. No brain damage, no frostbite, no amputations needed. Doctors couldn't believe it. Jean had been frozen for approximately 6 hours in minus 30 degrees Fahrenheit temperatures, a situation that, by all known medical standards, should have ended her life. Her recovery was not only miraculous, it was unprecedented. Her case would later appear in medical journals, news stories, documentaries, and be referenced by doctors across the world. Science stunned. Medical science could not fully explain what happened. One theory suggested her body entered a cryogenic-like state. Her metabolism slowed so much that her cells didn't die, but merely paused. Another theory involved a perfect storm of conditions. Her youth, her slow cool down, and just enough circulation to prevent catastrophic damage. Others weren't so clinical. Many saw it as divine intervention, a miracle. Aftermath and media frenzy. Jean's story exploded in the media. She was interviewed on national television. Newspapers across the U.S. featured her story. People from all over the world sent letters, prayers, and blessings. But Zhang herself remained humble. She didn't consider herself a miracle or a celebrity. "I just survived," she said. "I was lucky, and I'm grateful." She eventually returned to a quiet life, away from the spotlight, but her name never disappeared from the pages of medical history. Closing reflections. Zhang Hilliard's story reminds us of something powerful. The boundary between life and death is not always as clear as we think. In a world ruled by logic, her survival is an anomaly. In a universe of wonder, it is a message. Life can persist even in the most hopeless conditions. She was frozen, declared dead, but she came back. And in doing so, she left behind one of the most mysterious and inspiring true survival stories ever told. Based on true events. References: Time Magazine Archives. Frozen woman comes back to life. The New York Times. Zhang Hilliard and the Miracle in Minnesota. Interview with Dr. Edgar Sather. Foston Hospital PBS. Mysteries of the Mind. Episode on Extreme Hypothermia Medical Case Report. The Recovery of Zhang Hilliard. Journal of Emergency Medicine. If real stories like this move you, don't just watch. Become part of our journey. Subscribe to Echoes of Truth and never miss what lies beyond the silence.